Hey, what's up you guys? It's Victoria. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about how to deal if someone insults your accent. So if you're interested, then keep on watching. So given the line of work that I'm in, I've heard many stories over the years, unfortunately, from my clients, and they've been about when someone has insulted them or been rude to them because of their accent. So that's kind of been my inspiration for today's video, and I kind of wanted to give some suggestions and some food for thought in how to approach this kind of a situation. So hence, the 5-step method was born. So let's get right into it here. So step number 1 may surprise some of you guys, but it's actually to give the speaker the benefit of the doubt. Now, if you're wondering why on earth you should do that because this person has just insulted your accent, the reason is because politeness rules vary drastically across cultures, drastically. So what is totally acceptable and friendly in one culture may actually be rude and offensive in another. So politeness rules are really wired into our brains from the time that we're really little, to the point that we're often pretty unaware of our own culture's politeness rules. It's really easy to assume that every culture has more or less similar politeness rules, right? It's kind of baffling to think that what I say to you, and I say it in good faith, you may perceive it as totally disgusting and offensive, but that's absolutely the case when we're speaking about politeness. So here's just a little bit of food for thought. So what if someone were to comment about your recent weight gain? Is that okay in your culture? In some cultures, that's totally okay. In North American culture, for example, it's not okay. People don't do that. And if you do that, it would be seen as very rude. Another example that comes to mind is asking about someone's salary. Would you ask someone how much money they make? In a lot of cultures, that's okay to do. Not in North America, right? Or kissing someone on both cheeks when you meet them. To some people, totally acceptable way to greet someone. For other cultures, this is extremely intimate and totally unacceptable. So these are obviously just a few little examples, but I just want you guys to start to think about this idea that in different cultures, different things are okay or not okay. So let's get back to your accent, okay? So something that a lot of my clients tell me that they find truly, deeply offensive is the question, where are you from? For a lot of my clients, this is much too personal, and it's like you're asking them to tell you their whole life story, which might be a heavy life story. So a lot of my clients are actually insulted by this question. However, in other cultures, asking where you're from may not be insulting at all, and that may not be the intention at all. So I think this is just good to keep in mind because someone may genuinely be trying to be friendly or curious about you, but depending on your own cultural beliefs, which again are really deeply wired into your brain, you may perceive them as being way too nosy for their own good. So a really interesting book about cross-cultural communication was actually recommended to me by one of my clients a few years back. It's called The Culture Map, and it's written by Erin Meyer. So if this is a topic you guys are interested in, I strongly recommend you check out her book. It just got me thinking about so many things in new ways, and certainly it will open your mind up to the idea that something that you may be perceiving as an insult may totally not be an insult at all. It may just be a cultural difference. All right, you guys, let's move on to step number 2. So you've decided that this was not some sort of a miscommunication or a cultural difference. It was a big old insult directed at your accent. So the second thing that I think you should do is to ask yourself, does it matter? Okay? Decide whether you're better served by addressing it or by letting it go. There are so many negative things that we deal with on a daily basis, and they're not good for us in any way, right? So if this is some kind of chance encounter, some quick exchange with someone you're never gonna see again, and that doesn't matter, then who cares, right? Let it go in one ear, out the other, and move on with your day because it's really not worth the mental space that it can possibly take up for you. All right, so we're on to number 3. So we've decided that this was not some sort of a miscommunication, and yes, we do want to address this. It's worth it. So number 3 is to ask for clarification. Why ask for clarification, you may ask? It's to be 100% sure that you have the whole story before getting really upset and confronting someone, only to possibly find out that what you thought you heard was not what that person said. Asking for clarification is also really good if what you heard was muttered under someone's breath, or if you actually overheard someone talking to a friend about your accent, which is often the case with insults. They're not usually directed right at you. And this way you're going to see, does this person actually have the confidence to say what they just said to my face? So let's assume that you asked for clarification and the person did in fact confirm that they're just rude and they were in fact insulting your accent. So step number 4 is to confront them. So there are 2 ways that you can confront someone, right? The first is to just be very serious and professional about it. So let's say that in the previous step, you asked someone to clarify and they were in fact saying, your Polish accent is hilarious. Whenever I hear it, I just want to crack up. And this is one of your coworkers who's not a particularly awful person, but what they're saying you find particularly offensive. So what you can say in that case is very simply, listen, man, I don't think that's cool. I actually find that pretty offensive and rude, and I'd appreciate if you didn't comment about my accent again. Period. Done. Very straightforward, to the point. And I would be really surprised if this person in a work environment kept up with this kind of behavior, which is obviously not cool. Depending on the context, however, you may have a bit more freedom to address the situation in a way that's a bit more sassy or fun or clever. So to give you guys an example of this, one of the YouTubers that I follow in Polish, his name is Pascal Brodnicki, and he's a professional chef. So Pascal was born and raised in France, not speaking any Polish, but I believe he's of Polish descent from his father. So he moved to Poland as an adult and he learned Polish, and he now has a TV show and a YouTube channel, and he learned Polish very, very, very well. However, it's not perfect native speaker Polish, because if you guys know anything about Polish, Polish is really, really hard. It's extremely difficult to master to the point of a native speaker. So anyway, in today's video, Pascal actually was reading comments from individuals who were just really mean about his accent and about his Polish, and he responded to them in a light-hearted, witty manner. He would actually show the comment and the person's screen name to kind of call them out again. And I think this is just a good way to handle an unfortunate situation. Sometimes haters gonna hate. That's what I commented on his channel, and we just have to make the best of it and not let it affect us. Taylor Swift would agree. All right, so to wrap up here with number 5, just remember, you guys, keep your head held high. Learning another language is difficult. It's a process, it's a journey, it's very challenging, and you gotta remember that these people throwing insults your way, this is a problem with them, not with you. Any respectable, polite, normal person isn't going around insulting people that are trying to just communicate and live in another language. So even though it's a bit of a cliche, it's on them. It's really not on you. Try to not let it affect you. I know it can be easier said than done, but it's really just totally not worth it. So keep on doing what you're doing. So that's it for today's video, you guys. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Bye.